Okay, we got a lot going on in the world, so buckle up. If you thought the Burj Khalifa was big in Dubai, well, the new Jeddah Tower, it's going to be taller than the current tallest building in the world. We'll get into that. Apple earbuds will be scanning your brain. Florida man, or men in this case, are at it again with a machete fight in a parking lot. You thought the Japanese were the only ones doing kamikazes. Think again, the US is starting a new kamikaze unit. We'll also be talking about the development, or lack thereof, of a $3.5 billion helicopter. Also, researchers discover that dogs can, in fact, smell fear. They can also smell other things. We'll talk about that. Crew members are jumping off US ships during this whole Iran thing. If you thought all the Tupac stuff was over, think again. The Tupac murder trial's on full display right now. And lastly, Trump claims the Strait of Hormuz as US territory. You can't make this stuff up. So if you're anything like me and you got tired of watching the news because it's always the same stories again, and it's over political, and it misses all of the really good, juicy stuff going on in the world, well, this is the right place for you. Welcome to Question Things. I'm Jonathan Davis. We'll get right into it. The construction of Jeddah Tower continues. I like that name, by the way. It should have been maybe Jedi Tower. That would have been sick. But construction continues, and the height of the Jeddah Tower is encroaching on the Burj Khalifa as the tallest building in the world. It's getting closer. It's not quite there yet. Like I said, it's under construction, and it is getting taller and taller by the day. Currently, the Jeddah Tower sits at 106 stories. So far, 430 meters of the tower have been completed, making it just over half the height of the Burj Khalifa right now. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, by the way. Who cares? At this time, there are approximately 6,400 people working on the construction of the tower. Apple earbuds, as if I needed any more reason to not trust Apple. Apple has filed patent applications for the future AirPods, which are equipped with electrodes designed to read brain activity via electroencephalography, or EEG. Now, there are a lot of really cool things that could come from this, actually. I'm kind of all here for it. I won't be buying them ever, but I hope that you do, because of the research opportunities that we can get from collecting data on millions of people's brains.
Florida man! Florida man!
Men in Florida clash in the Publix parking lot wielding machetes and hatchets. This is according to Fox 13 News. 2 Florida men have been charged with aggravated battery after allegedly taking up arms, one with a machete and one with a hatchet, in a Publix parking lot. The altercation between Everett Critchbaum, 52 years old, and James Gay, 35, was over a love interest, according to a police report. Oh, you just don't see that going on quite enough anymore, as far as I'm concerned. 2 guys hatching it out to the death over a female, like a couple of reindeer. I'm here for it. My hat's off to these guys.
Florida man! Florida man!
The U.S. has a fleet of kamikaze airplanes. This may come as a bit of a surprise to you. Back in World War II, there were units of Japanese pilots who were notoriously given only enough fuel for a one-way trip. And so the U.S. said, good idea. Seemed to work well for them. So CENTCOM, and there's a little bit of a caveat, CENTCOM launches multinational one-way attack drone force. So you can see these drones here, which are pretty much reproductions of the Shahid drones that come from Iran and are being sold to other countries, most notably Russia at the time. And the U.S. said, good idea, we'll do the same thing. And on the vein of military, the Army spent $6.9 billion on 2 helicopters. And you really think the solution to our problems is taxing the rich even more? The government doesn't have an income problem, it has a spending problem, clearly. The U.S. Army spent $6.9 billion on 2 RAH-66 Comanche stealth helicopter prototypes, yet none ever actually were made for the battlefield. The projects were scrapped, and all that money went to government contractors, their friends, and probably the representatives they bribed one way or another to be awarded those contracts. I say this all the time about government. It's shocking, only not surprising. So, dogs smell fear. It's true. Researchers discovered that it's particularly true. This one who just went under my legs right now my German Shepherd. I know this to be the case. I know she smells fear. They smell other emotions too. And not only that, but they smell it first. According to Space Daily, dogs assess more than a person's posture, voice, or facial expression when they meet them. Researchers who study canine olfaction have found that dogs can detect the chemical signature of psychological stress in human breath and sweat, and they typically detect these things before you even speak. There was one time that I was walking my German Shepherd on a trail, and we came across, I don't know, a waterfall or something. There's a bunch of people there. She was to my right. There was a group of people to my left, and the German Shepherd's looking to the right. And I saw over here this child, like maybe 8-year-old kid, who was clearly afraid of dogs, turn around, saw my German Shepherd, who was looking the other direction, and he quickly got this look on his face, and hid behind his dad's pants. And as soon as I saw that happen, I saw my German Shepherd's hair stand up. She turned around and basically lunged in that direction. She was on a very short leash. I had her by the harness, and so she didn't go anywhere, but it was totally out of character for her, though it is kind of a typical German Shepherd thing. But in either case, I was astonished. I was like, she senses more things than we're aware of right now. I don't know how she did it, but as this research kind of proves, they do sense people's emotions in the sense of they smell them, and they smell them first before noticing any other attributes. So that's crazy, not crazy. So Tupac, you thought we were done with all this. Is Tupac still alive? Was he really killed? Who killed him? Is it a conspiracy? Well, yeah, somebody killed him. And now my cousin Dwayne Davis is on trial for his life. The trial for the 1996 murder of Tupac Shakur is happening now because Dwayne Davis publicly confessed to his involvement in interviews in a 2019 memoir. Those admissions led police to arrest Davis in 2023, and the long-delayed murder trial officially began August 2026 in Las Vegas. This is where the murder occurred. Now, this brings up a very healthy amount of dad wisdom from the wise 50 Cent, who often points out a very necessary lesson for Mr. Davis here and for children all around the world, which is, I don't say nothing. I don't want the DA to play in court. So loose lips sink ships. So when in doubt, keep your mouth shut. Well, that's all the dad wisdom I have for today. I'm not a dad. So I looked into the whole sailors jumping off of the USS Lincoln there. Turns out to mostly seem like fake news. Allegedly, there is a guy who fell off. He claims he fell off. His girlfriend is positing that he jumped off and just didn't want to say because he doesn't want to get dishonorably discharged, which wouldn't happen. By the way, he would probably get medically discharged and would probably even get money. Also, they don't seem to be starving. They're getting regular deliveries of food. I can guarantee you that those sailors are eating better than we ever ate in the Army. That being said, it is not in any way to suggest that I think what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz is okay. The U.S. probably doesn't need to be involved in that, in my opinion. But I said I was not going to get political. I just wanted you to know that there's a lot of fake news going on about sailors jumping overboard and apparently starving to death. I would be willing to bet my life that most of those sailors on board that ship are overweight, actually. And this is kind of the sad thing. Not a disproportionately higher number of people are attempting to complete the act of word I'm not supposed to say on YouTube. But here's the really disappointing thing about this is that a disproportionately large number of people in the military do, in fact, try and complete the act of word I'm not supposed to say on YouTube. And so the question is not, are there people there on the ship attempting you know what, but is it a higher percentage than is usual? Any percentage is not okay, and the military does not do anywhere near enough to prevent. In fact, they do very little in my experience. I looked into this personally. They do talk about it a whole lot. They do have lots and lots of meetings over the issue of suicide, but as it is, they do very little other than meet and give out lots and lots of money to places and organizations doing nothing. Because the most obvious thing to do is to improve work-life balance, encourage people to spend more time with family, look into what's causing unhappiness and fix that. The military doesn't care about the well-being of their service members, and so this is the obvious result of that. Not the Strait of Hormuz thing in particular, but the you-know-what rate being high in the military altogether is something completely obvious. That's what happens when you pay people the absolute minimum that you have to without creating an uprising or lowering enlistment numbers to a number lower than you can stomach. The solution to the you-know-what problem that starts with an S is to just improve the quality of life of service members. Pay them more, encourage them to spend more time with their family, cultivate relationships, and things of that nature. It'll never happen. The wages will not surpass inflation, and so the quality of life will continue to go down for service members, and the you-know-what rate, starting with an S, will stay the same. All right, and as usual, thank you very much for watching. If you are in the mood for a good book or a decent book, please check out Question Things by Jonathan Davis, available on Audible or Amazon. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be back Tuesday and Thursday.